أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
In the name of Allah, God Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad. This lecture is entitled, How to Learn Engineering Sciences Fully from the Noble Quran. And today, I will focus on how to learn civil engineering from the Book of Allah, God Almighty, the Noble Quran. Now, in civil engineering, there are optimal specifications needed for any structure, which are that the structure should be strong, i.e. able to withstand applied loads. It should be stiff, such that no large deformations will result upon loading. Lightweight, to minimize stresses due to body loads, i.e. self-loading. To be stable, to be able to resist vibrations and not to crumble, for example in the case of earthquakes and so forth. Now, these are the optimal specifications needed for any structure. Now, Allah God Almighty teaches us in the Noble Quran a structure which satisfies all of these requirements fully. How is this so? As you can see on the screen, Allah God Almighty describes a structure in His creation in the Noble Quran chapter 16. And your Lord inspired the bee, saying, take your habitations in the mountains and in the trees and in what they erect. So if we ponder and reflect about this Quranic verse, we see that why does Allah God Almighty mention creatures like bees, trees, cattle, etc. in the Noble Quran? The answer is that Allah God Almighty encourages those who read the Quran to ponder and reflect upon the design and function of these creatures. Thus, if we study the bees, as you can see on the screen, the beehive has the following characteristics. Firstly, it has high strength because it can endure the weight of thousands of bees. It is stiff, so that small deformations occur in it. It's balanced, since there are so many bees, 1,000 of bees on the hive, and each bee produces so much vibrations. Thus, the design of the beehive is very stable. It's optimally stable, that does not fall down to these loud vibrations, and of course it's lightweight, since it's hanging from a tree branch. So, as Allah Almighty teaches us in the Noble Quran, if we reflect and ponder about the design of beehives, we can learn from it the optimal design for a structure that has the optimal specifications needed in civil engineering. So, when we study the beehives, we see that it has a characteristic hexagonal structure, where it has a soft material, honey, and it's surrounded by stiff material, wax. So this hexagonal design for structures, Allah God Almighty teaches us the optimal design. Now, if we further analyze the design of beehives, we see that the beehive is a very it's optimal design for a structure, such that it uses minimum material to cover maximum area, which means it has 100% efficiency in material utilization. This design results in maximum stiffness and strength, which are main design requirements in load-bearing structures. So, we see that the hexagonal structure, it satisfies all of the main requirements for a structure. Firstly, that it has a light weight, because the hexagonal structure ensures the coverage of maximum volume with minimum amount of material, which ensures minimum weight for the structure, and of course minimization of self-loading. Also, the stability of beehives. The hexagonal structure ensures stability of the structure upon loading. How is this so? If we look at the hexagonal structure, we see that the weight of the bees acts perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the hexagonal cells. And if we analyze the force at each node in the structure, we see that they cancel out. So the X component the resultant of the forces in the x direction is equal to 0. And resultant of the forces in the y direction is equal also to 0. So we see that at every node, the summation of forces is equal to 0, which ensures stability for the structure. So regardless of the vibration amplitude, the structure can remain stable because each plate in the hexagonal structure reinforces the other. So if a structure is made by this hexagonal design, it can withstand earthquakes fully and will not crumble. Also, the stiffness and strength of beehives. The material used in construction is wax, a stiff material, so it ensures minimum deformations, and strong. So that's the design, as Allah the Almighty teaches us from the Noble Quran, for a structure that's optimal in all of these specifications, that is stiff, strong, stable, and lightweight. Also, Allah the Almighty teaches us not only the design concept, but also the ratios to be used in the design. The answer can be found in the Noble Quran. As you can see on the screen, if we study the ratios found in the beehive, we see that there is a ratio between the thickness to radius 1 to 10, and there is a ratio of material area to area 1 to 7. So if an engineer takes this hexagonal design of a beehive and enlarges to a larger scale by using the same ratios, he would get a structure which is stable, stiff, strong, and lightweight. So we see how Allah the Almighty wants the believer to be the teacher of others and not the one on the receiving end. And for more information about this, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zaidquran@yahoo.com. And may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.